I've got some good news and some bad news. The bad news, our run game is horribly mid right now. It doesn't matter who's running. Bo Jackson, CJ Donaldson, James Peoples, it's just not up to par. The good news, the house is now divided. It's your boy Josh, the resident Buckeye fan. Buckeye fans, we're losing the battle once again to Michigan fans. So I need y'all to hit the like button. Share this with some other Buckeye fans. And for any new viewers out there that are watching this video and like what I had to say, make sure you hit the subscribe button. You know, we're also doing something special on Saturdays, the big college football show at 11 featuring me, the resident Buckeye fan, our resident Michigan fan, Marcus, Maze Madman, Boxing Maniac, Johnny Olden. It's not Ohio State versus Michigan. It's college football. Make sure you join us this Saturday at 11 or 10:45 or 10:30. Look, just be there Saturday morning when we discuss college football so you can get ready for the week. Now, according to Bill Landis, Ohio State is 46th in the country at running the ball, while running the ball at the third highest rate of the Ryan Day era. That's pretty interesting considering the lack of healthy running backs that we've had in prior years and the lack of solid blocking that we've also had in the run game at times. It's also interesting considering the large amount of talent that we have in the wide receiver room, even behind guys like Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate. I think Ohio State fans assume that Bo Jackson would be the answer to our running game woes. And even though I've admitted that Bo is showing us tons of explosiveness, vision, great footwork, I've never really fully been on the replace James Peoples train because he's shown at times that he possesses immense talent as well. And CJ Donaldson has shown ability outside of just running the ball and blocking and receiving out of the backfield. What are most defenses game planning against when they play Ohio State? Jeremiah Smith, and now probably Carnell Tate as well. And as I mentioned before, there is tons of talent behind them in this wide receiver room. Establishing your wide receiver room the way it should be established and opening up the field, trusting your quarterback, Julian Sand, the most accurate quarterback in the nation right now, to deliver the ball to your playmakers, the best playmakers at this position in the nation, making defenses have to cover the entire field and lightening the box. These are what will likely open up the run game. I know Day and company are loving what they're getting out of this tight end room for some reason. When I see whiffed blocks like what Claire did on a lead block for CJ Donaldson, I'm a bit confused why we don't open things up at the very least. I just think we're doing a little too much with these 2 and 3 tight end sets. And it's very likely that they like what they're getting out of that because they feel they need extra blocking because the run blocking isn't up to par. But I feel like we need to give a solid look to some other approaches when it comes to the running situation. And I think that using our weapons as a threat may help, or at least it will give you another look. So when I hear Ryan Day say things like Quincy Porter and Mylan Graham need to also step up, that sounds a bit more promising. Utilize the weapons that you went out and recruited. Obviously, I have a reason to want Brandon Ennis to get more targets, but spread the ball around and use your strengths. Because who's going to stop you? What defense in the nation is going to stop you? Who's going to stop Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate and the other wide receiver targets and Max Clare and the run game if it gets established the way it needs to? Here's the good news. Our next 5 games include Wisconsin, UCLA, Purdue, Rutgers, and a Penn State that just lost their coach and their starting quarterback. Yeah, and that game is at home. With the exception of the newfound UCLA offense, none of these teams pose a threat, and our defense is stopping everything anyway. Use this 5-game stretch to find what's really going on with this run game and get to the bottom of it. Because going into this season, my main concern was the defensive line and what we were going to do about the quarterback situation because we didn't know. We didn't know if it was going to be Julian Sand or Lincoln Keenholz. Both of those things are passing with flying colors now. Caden McDonald is a beast at stopping the run. And Julian Sand is the most accurate quarterback in the nation. Ryan Day, you've got 3 solid options at running the ball. At the very least, you got one in Bo Jackson. You got a slew of offensive line options and a history of Frankensteining the right offensive line to make this thing happen, right? Like last year. And you've got a passing game that most colleges would kill for, and a defense that ensures that the best of offenses in the country won't get very far at the very least. Get it done. Now, when I look at Wisconsin specifically, I don't know if Billy Edwards is the quarterback any more than I think Luke Fickell at this point knows who's going to be the quarterback, right? The other guys behind him don't really pose much of a threat, especially to this defense. Jake Renfro finally came into the game against Iowa, I believe. So their starting center is back. But look at this defense. This defense is still flying at a high rate. I don't know if they have any answer for Arvell Reese coming off the edge or Sonny Styles or Caleb Downs, right? I don't know if they have any wide receiver threats that give me pause when it comes to Jermaine Matthews and Davis Igbinosun, right? Ryan Day has even said that Davis Igbinosun is taking this DB room up another level. And while he did get handsy a little bit in that last game against Illinois, you got to like the aggression sometimes. You got to like some of that at some points. Yes, it does get called for penalties at times, and it doesn't seem like it was too detrimental. And so if you can get aggressive and not cause us the game, I have no problems. And again, Wisconsin just doesn't have the passing threat. On the defensive side of things, Wisconsin's defense is middle of the road. I think Luke Fickell is a defensive mind. I think Wisconsin has always been a little bit more lenient towards their defense, more so than their offense, at least as of recent years. So, they're going to be a decent defense to try a newfangled running offense against. So I don't know. I definitely feel like this is a defense that you can be a little bit more aggressive against because their offense is not going to make you pay. So with that, we really need to explore what this run game could look like in different looks. And if you're saying to me that Quincy Porter and Mylan Graham need to get ready to step up, this would be a good team to do it against. This would be a good game to really open up that playbook and get some of your wide receivers going. So then maybe you can look at what this running game looks like when the wide receivers are being the threats that we expect them to be. Again, Buckeye fans, make sure y'all hit that like button. And if you agree with what I said and you're not already currently subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And please make sure you join us this Saturday at 11 for the big college football show at 11. I lost my first prediction for the game of the week, but Dan Lanning lost the game. And I'm still number one for the picks. So make sure y'all tune in this Saturday. And on that note, I'm out. Peace.